All right, so I was here so many years ago, and now I'm back. But I'm not back to live here. I'm just back for my sister's graduation, and you know, I spend a lot of time just currently. By the way, I'm sick, and the moment I came here, it was just really cold. I think my body just couldn't do it with all the how cold it is. But coming back here makes you look at the milestone you've reached in life. I have a little bit more left, and I've changed a lot, and in ways I didn't change. In ways, I you know, just I'm so happy. I'm so happy to what I have become. I'm so happy to what I have done. I'm so happy. First and foremost, I thank God and I'm grateful for everything that I've reached in my life. That's the very first thing. And the second thing is that I've worked hard and I was given. And I'm very grateful for that. I'm very happy. And when I look at myself and my life and how much it has changed, it's changed quite a lot. And what changed isn't just my life, it's just not my life. I've changed internally, I've changed the way I look at things. In very few years, I feel like a lot of the time, the more experience someone has, I think, is what changes them, either to the good or to the bad. People interpret things from their level of perception. A lot of people interpret it in ways that are similar. That's just because most people I've realized after a long time of just being around people and just seeing how the world is, a lot of people would resort to and support the bad party. They don't want, and God made it this way on purpose. But I've realized that people, if given the power, they would be the worst human beings on earth. And that is a great depiction of how it is now, like the way it's going now with the world. Why? Just a few people were given a little bit of power. These same people, if they were the poorest people on earth, people who were in need of these resources the most, given power, they do the same thing. So a great understanding of that behavioral psychology is the study of Stockholm Syndrome. Stockholm Syndrome is basically students were given power and over other students. They started practicing the same things that the Holocaust members used to practice on their victims. Why? They were just given the power. So a lot of the people we see in our day-to-day life is people who were given more resources. That's why they're uh, um, practicing oppression, and people that hide under the word kindness because they don't have claws and they cannot hurt you. With that understanding that I have a great understanding of the human world, and it's enough for me to see that. But in the same time, I've seen people throughout, I want to say throughout history, very minimal members. We're talking one out of one, they come once every globe, okay? Every time people get together, there's only one person like this. This is how rare these people are. Is that one given the power, they don't turn into an oppressor. They don't turn into an oppressor. These people are very few people. Very few people. I was also looking at very few people that they won't try to oppress when given the power, and they tend to pay dearly. There's a lot of names, not a lot of names, one in this lifetime, very recent, like a few years ago, and this person has received a lot of hate and a lot of opposition, and he is vilified. And another one has been, and I mentioned that one before, is I always say it. This other person, they get a lot of not only hate, but people would like to chop them up so they don't feel bad in comparison. And I try and I thrive. I thrive, okay? And I know myself that under any circumstance, I will not take people's rights. I will not do this and I will not do that. And I take pride in that. But in the same time, once it's put, I want it to, if it was, I do not want it to be put into the test. I do not want to be under, I'm the type of person that wants to give as much help as I can while maintaining the knowledge that people will never change. And throughout history, they've been the same. And at the same time, you as a person, you do what you can, while understanding you're weak. God created you weak. He created all of us weak. Gave some of us more than others to test our to test us. So, and that's in the Quran. It says, وَخَيَّرْنَا بَعْضَكُمْ عَلَى بَعْضٍ لِنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ أَيَّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا, or something like this. In the same time, there's a lot. Anyways, this comes up to my mind, and and I think about it, and I need to maybe think about other things, think about. But I feel like the opening music downstairs. Oh yeah, I wanted to also say something, is that when I was younger, standing in the same place, I never had a good relationship with my mother, ever. Okay? Years later, it never got better. So it's just never gonna get better. And growing up, I wanted to please my mother, being a doctor, or just please her based on my accomplishments, because I felt that I was viewed as a nobody. I was nothing. And when I did, hopefully, inshallah, become, I'm still viewed as a nobody. It's just regardless. But you start understanding yourself. You start understanding who you are without your family looking at you in any way. Because it's not like, I started transition from trying to please my mother to trying to please God. And that's a great transition, I think. Because, when I was younger, I really needed somebody to view me as something, that I was worth something. But when I grew up, that ideology has demolished very quickly. That I don't care. I don't care. Like, honestly, I don't care. I don't care for, and there's two ways people can turn when their parents don't approve of them as great human beings, or like, oh, you good job, and things like this. It's two ways. Either you want to please everybody, or you don't want to please anybody. And I took the other route. I do not want to please anyone. I don't care for people. It's enough that I want to please God. If somebody is misunderstood something about me, stay with that misunderstanding. There's somebody that I met when I traveled overseas to my country back home. It was the first time I saw my country. I was fighting with my mom over a very big topic, over a very, very disturbing topic. But instead of looking like the right person, I looked like the wrong person. We were fighting up in the room in their house. The boy brought me coffee, even though he heard me scream. I didn't need to explain anything to him. So after that, I was like, the people that matter, they don't need your explanation at all. And this is a long story, because in the end, his dad was found, when we were here in America, all of us, his dad was found murdered in front of a house my family owned. But that's another topic for another day. Yeah.